Wow. That's different. I really like that.
Peychauds or Peychauds or...
Yeah, now I'm gorgeous. Although probably fuzzier was better.
Okay. So this is not what I expected. Ha.
Ha. How's it going? Hey, Thursday, Bourbcast time, woohoo! Yeah, it's time. It's been a weird day. We had gorgeous sunshine earlier today, and then all of a sudden I got this notice that things were going to go crazy outside, and they did. We got a massive storm. We have a lightning and thunderstorm in January when it's 54 degrees. Yes. Bring it on. Joe's watching. Hey, Joe, from the Maumee Valley Whiskey Society. Corey's watching. Hey, Corey, how are you? Good to have you with us. So tonight, this is another suggestion from a viewer. One of their things that they really enjoy drinking is Jim Beam Black Extra Aged. So as I was researching this one, I found that the reviews were kind of mixed. And I thought, you know what? This is not probably all that fair. Oh, you like this one, Joe. Great. Larry's watching. Hey, Larry. Sorry. So I'm thinking of two different things at once. The reviews were mixed, and I thought, it's not going to be fair for me just to drink it out of the neck like normal. So as I'm going to start to try to do a little bit, I took it upstairs, and I dumped the whole bottle out into this great big cup I've got. and then I dumped it back in the bottle. So, and then I've left the cap off ever since. So it's had its chance to do a little breathing, so get that over there. All right. So Jim Beam Black has been known by several different names over the years. Tom's watching. Hey, Tom. It's been known by several different names over the years. The early part of the decade, Jim Beam used to carry an 8-year age statement, and it was called double aged. So that makes sense. If it's Jim Beam White is a 4-year bourbon. You can know that because it doesn't carry an age statement. Aaron's watching. Hey, bud. It doesn't carry an age statement on the bottle. So anything under 4 years, I think that's right. Anything under 4 years has got to carry an age statement. Well, this is supposed to be double aged, so it was an 8-year bottle. Well, they took the age statement off and they changed the name. They changed it to XA, extra aged. Hey, ugly. Right. Called it Extra Aged, and then in 2016, Beam issued a portfolio-wide branding change, included new labels and a new bottle design, and they changed it again. They dropped the XA, and they just now call it Extra Aged. And it's assumed at this point that it's a 6-year aged. So Extra Aged sounds better than aged and a half, right? Instead of double aged, now it's aged and a half. I can just hear the slogans now. I can hear the jingle. Aged and a half. Hey, Jim. No. Yeah, it's lovely, right? Barry Manilow couldn't even write that one. Anyhow, so it's assumed to be a 6-year, but that's again could be a mix-up, because it could be just the 4-year, and it could be mixed with other bourbons that Jim Beam or Suntory Distillery makes. They do Knob Creek, and they do Booker's, and they do a bunch of other stuff. So they might have pieces, whatever they call it, it's still tasty. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm glad it's tasty. We're about to find out. But they may take seconds of all these other things and just blend it all together. Or it could be a 6-year age. I don't know. And it doesn't seem like anybody on the internet really knows what happens with Jim Beam Black anymore. They keep it kind of quiet. No, don't do that. Okay. 43% ABV. This is 86 proof. It's priced at $23.99 in our state. 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley. That's really about it. So now all we got to do is try it. What's that? You want me to drink you? Yes, please. I'm done. Done. Okay. First thing I got off the nose is that it does not smell young. If it is indeed 6 years or blended with 6 years, that's one thing on the nose that I liked, is it does not smell young. When I first opened this a few hours ago, before I poured it out and poured it back in, I got a distinct, like, astringent type of a smell, but I don't get that now at all. It's probably a good thing that I dumped it out and dumped it back in. Give it a little air. Head over here, make sure I'm not missing anything. Still tasty. Okay, I think I'm getting it all. All right. So, the oak is definitely coming out from the extra age. And there is a little bit of astringency in there, but it's not like it was. And there's some... there's a citrus scent. Caramels and cinnamons, but caramels more than cinnamons. Gotta open my... That'll make for a nice sound bite, won't it? I'm getting some of that corn. It almost reminds me of popcorn. You know, before you pop it, you open up that container and you smell the popcorn. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Definitely is corn heavy. Just a slight pop of lemon. All right. All right. Well. Hello. Okay. The first thing I will tell you is that it drinks higher than its proof. It's 86. And normally an 86 proofer, I'm not going to feel that going all the way down, and I just did. It punches higher than its weight. So if 86 proof is a turnoff to you because it's not high enough, you want to try this. Now, let's see if that stays throughout the rest of the tasting. All right, I'll tell you my immediate notes. Tobacco. Shoot, I had it. I had it. I had 3 notes and I lost them because the last one was tobacco. I got tobacco, I got the oak, caramel, that was one of them, some toffee. I think those, and so the oak, the toffee, the caramel, not a solid caramel, not a sweet caramel, but a darker caramel, and toffee. So maybe that's no, they're different. Coffee and toffee are different. Or caramel and toffee are different. But yeah. Yeah. I'm coloring myself surprised. I did not think that I would like this, but I do. Yeah, there's a little sweetness in there, and that's probably given to it by the caramel side of things. There are some pieces of this that I am missing from the Jim Beam White. The Jim Beam White, although it's only 80 proof, kind of encapsulates a lot of those very, very typical bourbon notes. cinnamon and caramel and vanilla and all that stuff. This definitely is a more, well, I used this phrase last week when we did the Bullet 10 year. It's a darker pour. It has darker notes to it. It has the tobacco and the darker caramel and but it does have a slight sweetness that still comes through, which Jessica's watching. Hey, how are you? I'm glad you're with us. Jim Beam Black. We did the nose. We did the first tasting, and I'm surprised. I mean, I like Jim Beam. I like Jim Beam White. I don't drink it very often because it's 80 proof and it does not punch above that weight. It's 80 proof. It is the best-selling bourbon in the world. It's the #1 whiskey in the world and the largest whiskey company in the world. So, you know, age it a couple more years or blend it with older bourbons and you're going to get something a little bit more special, and that's what this is. It, proof-wise, punches ahead of over 86, and it's got lots of nice flavors. There's just a little bit of sweetness that pulls through, but some of those darker notes like tobacco and caramel are front and center, and the extra oak, of course, from sitting in the barrel or being blended with pours that are from other barrels. Really nice, actually. I'm still getting some of that sweetness of the corn, too. That corn sweetness is really coming through. And this is a high corn mash bill, 75%. And the malted barley is actually kind of a higher number, too. It's 12% malted barley. So you would look at this and think of it as kind of a low rye because the corn just takes up so much of the mash bill. And I think it's benefits by that because it does carry a little bit of sweetness into it. And the rye spice is not overwhelming. I think they chose very, very well how they were going to do this bottle. It's water time. Water time. Water time. Ho, ho, ho. Put her down a little bit of water, see if it swims. Yeah. Whoa. Hey, Bill, you caught me right in the middle of an ode. It was my opus. I'm in trouble if that's my opus. A little less than a milliliter of water. It is filtered water. It is not reverse osmosis. It is not limestone. It is not gimmicky. It is just filtered water. That's it. The little filter thingy I have in my refrigerator does a pretty good job. So, and this isn't cold water anymore. It's room temperature. This same water has been sealed up in here for a while, and it's filled up. So, all right. Jim Beam Black with a little bit of water. Nope. Kevin's talking. Hey guys, bourbon time. Drinking my mixed Buffalo Trace mixed with a very old Barton tonight. You mixed Buffalo Trace and Barton in the same glass? Why? They're both good. Very old Barton is very tasty. Very, even the 80 proof is yum yum. You're doing something I rarely mix. I taken this bourbon and this bourbon. I rarely put them together in one glass. Just not something I mean, if I like the pour, I know. You do bourbon, bro. I get it. Drink it how you like it, right? That's what we tell everybody. That's what we tell ourselves. Drink it how you like it. Shut up, Casey. Okay. I love it. If I'm going to blend, Joe says I love doing different blends. Okay. But if I'm going to blend, I normally blend with something else. Like I'll blend with a cognac or something along those lines. I had a little BT in Buffalo Trace in the decanter, and I topped the rest of it off with very old Barton. Okay. A lot of Buffalo Trace stuff dropped this week. Stag is out there. That makes sense. Okay. Stag is out there. Eagle Rare got out there. Baby Saz got out there. It was kind of nice to see some of those back on the shelves again. Buffalo Trace Sazerac Company is making big news right now because they are going after their previous distributor. Now, Ohio hasn't dealt with that distributor for a little over a year. And nothing really has changed as far as what's on our shelves. Blending different spirits, that sounds interesting. Joe, we'll get back to Buffalo Trace. If you've never blended bourbon with sherry, bourbon with cognac, that's a good one. There's just a lot you can do. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, Jeremy's watching. Any left in Findlay? Baby Saz came out on Wednesday. Stag is staggering throughout the state. Some of the drops were today, but if Stag is on the shelf, it's not going to last very long. Eagle Rare, there was a line at the Kroger. We have a small liquor store in our Kroger, and there was a line there for the Eagle Rare. There were like 6 bottles, and it was gone. Sazerac, they had a little bit more, and I was able to pick up a bottle of that like late in the afternoon. So you might check, but I wouldn't bet the farm on it, Jeremy. Always worth looking. But Stag used to be called Stag Junior. Now it's just called Stag. And I've got one open bottle and one not open bottle, and I've not been in a hurry to go find another one because I wasn't in love with it right out. I mean, you saw it on the intro. That was not what I expected. It's not. It's hot. I got a buddy of mine. He's watching. He's after that Stag. He wants another bottle of it so he can have it on his bar because I know he doesn't like it. I don't like it. Now, I was supposed to do another review of it. This was going to be so clever. It was going to be so cool. Groundhog Day, the movie where it kind of does the same thing over and over and over again. I was going to revisit some pours on Groundhog Day. It was going to be really cool. I was going to redo Stag. I was going to do the High West. I was going to do a couple of other ones. But now, I can't because I'm not going to be in town. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do a Bourbcast. I'll try to keep you up to date on that, but I'm going to be I'm going to be out of town. And I will tell you more if I can later on, but I will try to do a Bourbcast from where I am if I can. And I'll try to find a bar, and I'll try to find a pour that I haven't had, and we'll do that. And then we'll do the revisit of the Stag and some of those other ones another time. So, but that's on Groundhog Day. That's February 2nd, and I'm going to miss that one. So, sorry. Make sure I'm not missing anything. I'll take it off your hands, Casey. You love Stag. I'll trade Mellowcorn for it. Like heck you will. I can find Mellowcorn on the shelf all day long, Kevin. And I like it. And somebody else put a review of it online. They had just tried it, and they love it too. So I don't know what's wrong with your taste of mine. Yeah. Ha, ha, ha. So anyway, all right. We haven't tried this on water yet. I keep talking about it, and we haven't done it. So let's do it. I like Mellowcorn too, Joe. Kevin, I don't know. You probably need to retry it. I've got a bottle open. So that neck pour is gone. You need to come back and try it again, Kevin. I'm just saying. All right, so on water, this did change a little bit. It opened up some. There was something that hit me right away. And the only thing that I can tell you that I think that it is, my first instinct is lemon zest. I don't know if I'm right. I could be full of the Dutch. I have no idea. But that's the first thing that hit me, so that's the thing that I am uttering. Sometimes you just got to say what comes out first, right? So lemon zest is what I got. So let's get back into it and see if it's really that or something else. I'm going to stick with that lemon, but I'm going to add that there's an iced tea component to it. Not sweet tea, but I'm getting like a little bit of an iced tea type of flavor to it after I put water in it. I'm pleasantly surprised by this bottle. I did not think I would like it. I do. It's not going to be in my top 25 or anything, but I like this, and I'll drink this. And if somebody comes over and wants something, I'll pour this for them, and I'll be happy to do that. All right, so let's move on. I saved this just for tonight. We haven't talked about this in a while, and I think it's time. I am often talking about my gorgeous clear ice spheres. And I just kind of wanted to go back and show you what I do. I've got 2 different molds that I use for it, and it's a directional freezing technique. So you've got the silicone. This holds the water, and then you got a cooler, and this slows down the process of freezing. One of them I have is a Wintersmiths, and I've had about a 50% success rate on Wintersmiths. I pulled some out the other day, and they were gorgeous ice spheres, but the top, there were 9 of them in the mold, and the tops of 8 of them broke off. So I had guests over last night. It was great. We had a great dinner, and we watched Maverick, the new Top Gun movie. Turned that surround sound all the way up. It was great. But because they were rejects, I served them. Why not, right? But this mold has never failed me. I have never had a bad ice sphere out of this. Now I say that, and watch when I pull this out, I'm going to get a bad ice sphere. What's nice about this one is inside here, the water is frozen as well. And I leave it in there long enough that this freezes too. And I heat up the plastic insert, which is here. I put this under warm water, and within a couple of minutes I can pop these out, and I get big, I guess, rectangular? What's a cube only longer? But I got 3 of them, and my son likes to put those in his iced tea, and I use them sometimes as well. But and they're clear ice too. They're gorgeous. So later on I'll put that under some hot water. But then this opens up and gives me these beautiful, perfect, clear ice spheres. Give them a little polish. I wouldn't do this if this was going in your drink. It's just going in mine. Look at that. Isn't that? This is gorgeous. I want to kiss you. Mwah. This one I will put back on ice. But that's one of the molds that I use. It wasn't very expensive. Now Wintersmiths, again, I've had about a 50% success rate with the Wintersmiths. They do have one that's similar to this that'll make 4 ice spheres. I'm thinking about getting that one. But I mean, really, this is good enough for me. I only do 1 Bourbcast a week most of the time. And aside from last night when I had a nice clutch of people over for a party, I don't use the ice spheres very much, so I could get away with, putting this in the freezer a couple times a week and I'll have enough, right? But this, I mean, I'd like to get the 4 one because it's just like this. It's just longer. And I think my success rate with Wintersmiths would be a little bit better using that one. So, all right, so we're on an ice sphere. Let's see what this does over ice. Something we haven't seen much of in January, which is fantastic. They make interchangeable tops on the floor one, where you can get perfect clear cubed as well. Just change out the insert. Yeah, they make one. I've got for the Wintersmiths, the big one that does the 9 spheres. I can also do a whole bunch of little tiny spheres, which I bought that mold and I thought, how cool, and then I haven't used it but one time. It seemed stupid because you're still using, I mean, if you put in 3 or 4 of them, you're still exposing the drink to more surface area instead of less surface area like you would on a sphere, on a large sphere. And that's going to melt faster even though it's clear. a little slower, but it's still going to melt a little faster, dilute the drink a little bit faster. So I just don't use that one. They also make one for like a long spear for like a Collins glass. That one I would like to have. So clear Collins spears, that would be cool. And then they make some cubes. They have the large cubes and the small cubes. They do. Wintersmiths does a bunch of different things, and I'm excited about their company. I'd like to see where things innovate in the future. But right now, what I have, I'm getting about a 50% success rate on them. The spheres do not always come out perfectly, whereas with this doodad, they always come out perfectly. I really like this one. It's easy, it's fast. I used to think that you had to use boiling water in, and you really don't. I still prefer it because I think the ice comes out just a skosh more clear, but it's about directional freezing. So I don't know if that's just my own perception. Probably is. All right. Get this bad boy cooled down in my elegant ice sphere. These I made with boiling water. Just a preference. I've got an iced tea kettle. It boils real fast. But I probably don't have to do that. But the silicone will handle it. I mean, shoot. I think it's good for up to 450 degrees or something like that. The silicone is. All right. The tobacco notes were strong over ice for me. The sweetness isn't there at all for me over ice. On the second dram, a little bit more flavor, not much. That tobacco notes, they're rich, they're savory. It's a pleasurable flavor. There's a lot of great flavor there, but it's all kind of one note on ice, to me. Still, there is one other note though. I'm still getting that really high sweetness from the corn. It's not often that I can have a pour and really pull out corn, but with this one, I'm doing it. I don't even think I can do that with regular Jim Beam. Maybe I need to revisit regular Jim Beam, but this one to me, I'm really pulling out the corn on that. Let me do one more of these. All right. So on water and on ice, the proof is that bringing down the proof is significant. When I first tried it, I thought, wow, this is hot for 86 proof. It's not anymore, not on water, not on ice. Now, again, I've had a few of these, so maybe my palate is primed, but yeah, that oak, tobacco, corn. That's what I'm getting over ice. A lot of the flavors are muted. I just got something else there. Something smoky. Pork! No. It's the pork. It was smoky. I apologize. Yeah, no, so I'm going to tell you I like this one. Better than I thought I would. Some of these lower proof pours, we did a whole beginning bourbon series last summer. Last year. Jim Beam White, Evan Williams Black, Wild Turkey, what was it, 86 or 81 proof, something like that. Four Roses, I mean, this stands right up with those. And then some. So the Four Roses, I remember when I was doing that series, the Four Roses had more spice, had more of an ethanol kick. than a lot of the other ones in its age range and in its proof range. I would put this up there with the Four Roses and maybe just elevate it a little bit over top of it, because even though it's only 86 proof, it's got a lot of flavor and has a lot of character, very savory, and that first dram is a bit hot for 86 proof. So I do like this one. All right, so next week I'll still be here. I won't be out of town next week. So we're going to come back and we're going to do one that I've kind of touched on before. We kind of hit it in that beginning bourbon series, but we didn't give it a tasting all of its own. And I think that this bourbon deserves a tasting all of its own, and that's Long Branch. So Long Branch is a Wild Turkey brand. The thing that you need to know about Wild Turkey, if you don't already, is that everything that Wild Turkey puts out has the same recipe, the same mash bill. So Buffalo Trace has a mash bill 1 and a mash bill 2, or A or B, whatever it is. There are other places like Heaven Hill that they have multiple mash bills. Four Roses has lots of mash bills based on the yeast strains and things like that. Wild Turkey, everything they put in their bottles has the exact same mash bill, exact same recipe. What makes it different? Time in the barrel, proof, whether or not it's been filtered, chill filtered, carbon filtered, all those different things. We'll know more about Long Branch next week when we come back and revisit this one. It is still dry January. Just like Sober October, I am not succeeding as well as I wanted to. but, still got a lot of month left. So, next week, Long Branch. This is not a high proofer. This is 43% alcohol by volume, which is the same as the one we just had. So, this one and the Jim Beam, there it is. These are both 86 proof. They're the exact same. Mash bill going to be different. But so if you're getting Russell's or Wild Turkey 101 or anything else that Wild Turkey makes, it is the same recipe. Russell's 10-year, well, I'm going to say this and then somebody's going to go, ah! Okay. Russell's 10-year is the longest aged product that Wild Turkey puts out. Now here's the because this year they did a 13-year. Generally speaking, the 10-year is the longest aged product that Wild Turkey puts out. But it is, again, the exact same recipe. Well, it makes sense because Long Branch, the photo that I took with this is one of the original photos for Beautiful Bourbon. That's back when I was still taking pictures with my cell phone. And it's still one of my favorite photos that I've ever taken. We will see you next week for Long Branch, and I can't wait. I'm just so much enjoying myself, and I'm really happy that you're here with me. You could be doing anything else with anyone else, anywhere else, and you're here with me, and that means a lot to me. So thank you for that, and we will see you next week for Long Branch. And check us out on Instagram at Beautiful Bourbon, on YouTube at Beautiful Bourbon. The website is thebourbcast.com or beautifulbourbon.com. That's really out of date, so don't go there. Take care, guys.